Dear Midlife, maybe it doesn't have to be hard. So, as I'm sharing this, what I'm going to share with you is so like real life, like where I am right now. And I'm so committed, like you have no idea. I am committed that this not just be about me, but that there's something you can take away from for yourself in this conversation. Okay. So I have my notes because I want to be so succinct. So just bear with me. I'm not going to be long. So the other day I had this conversation with my uncle. And he has been a artist, a graphic designer. I do some graphic design, but I would not say I'm an expert, okay? And we were talking about beliefs and there's some things he's kind of been dealing with and I was like it's kind of like we have this I was saying it's kind of like we have this like things are in layers. Like you might have a belief, right? And that belief is not just in your thoughts. That's just one layer to it. There's another aspect of what we believe that is definitely in our body because our body has memory. Okay, now, if you ever want to read up on that, you could read The Body Keeps the Score by Dr. Bessel van der Helk, I think is his name. Very solid work on, his expertise is trauma, but the principle holds the body has memory. Okay. So I was talking to my uncle and I was like, it's like there's layers. And so when you're doing deep work, it's not just mindset and like changing your words and changing your thoughts. It's a very, what I would call what we learn in somatic coaching, training is it's an embodied experience. It's mind and body, right? So I had this conversation, and my uncle was saying it's like as a graphic designer, when I'm creating an image, okay, on my software, I see the image and I can also click and like I can see that that one image is comprised of layers. And then I remembered, oh my goodness, that is so spot on. Like I do Canva, right? And when I'm on Canva and I'm designing an image, I can click on layers and I can see every piece that's making up that one image. And that really stuck with me, because I was thinking like, wow, like what I left with was like, there's beliefs that I have that we all have that have layers to them. So fast forward, okay? I promise you, I'm not going to be long. I'm going somewhere with this. I had this like epiphany, and the epiphany was like after that conversation, life is hard, is it's a core kind of rule that I live by. It's an unspoken, unconscious rule. I don't know when I made the rule up. Okay. All I know is that I was trying to actually like just kind of sit with it. Like, when did that start? It's always been that way for me. Okay. Here's an example. And I want you to consider you yourself have rules you've made. They're rules you live by, and consider that your rules. If I asked you what are your rules, there's probably some you would never even be able to tell me. You'd have to really sit with it, okay? Like just saying, all right. There's some, yeah, like one of my rules is, I it's a value, but one of my rules is I'm not gonna share things that I don't have like experience in. Like I'm not just going to go and talk to people. If I'm sharing something and I don't know, I'm going to tell you. Like it's a real thing for me. Okay. So life is hard is one of mine. Okay. Now, I was like, the first thing that kind of came to me, even though there's so many examples, is when I wanted to take the GRE. I got my degree, my university degree. Have to drink a little cup of coffee. a little bit of my coffee because this is coffee time with me in Dear Midlife. And I studied and I studied, like I have worked so hard for everything. Okay. And when I took the GRE, I missed the minimum score to be able to apply to graduate school. I'm not kidding. It was just by a few points. My response was, of course, that would happen to me because nothing happens easily for Venice. You see that? Now, this happened years ago. I'm 53 now. I think that was like 30 years ago. I applied for the GRE. Okay. I took the test and all that, right? I didn't even go to graduate school because at that moment in my life, I was like, I'm not going to pursue it. Screw it. I'm not going to do it. I pivoted to something else. Okay. I still worked in nutrition, but doing something else. I did not go to graduate school. Okay. What's my point? My point is that I want you to consider that you have your own rules. And I'm going to go to my notes because I want to stay on point here. Like, and I was thinking, like, maybe your thing might not be, life is hard, but one way you could discover, kind of get an insight into what your thing is when hard things happen, what's your go-to response? That's the easiest way. Like, what are you a victim? Do you hide? Do you avoid? Or the opposite, which was mine? Mine is I dig my heels in and I am going to plow through it. That's mine. But like, if you're like, well, how do I discover what mine is? That's a good, how do you respond when life gets hard? Okay. Now, the second thing I want to say, I'm going to my notes, is, and this is really hitting me. Like, you have no idea. Like, I was on my walk and I was like, what if? And just thinking about this, like, makes me kind of emotional because when you've lived your life a certain way, right? It's like, I don't know any other way. So, right now, I am sitting with that maybe I life isn't hard. I mean, I'm not saying there's no work. I'm talking about the intensity of it, the energy of it for me, of plowing through everything. And, for me, part of that was like getting sick, being exhausted, not having like really good work-life balance because life is hard. And if I'm going to have anything, I have to work so much harder than everybody else. And what I want you to consider, I don't know what your rule is, but I want you to consider that if you maybe got a little curious about it, and maybe you're in a point in your life where you're like totally satisfied and everything's great, that's awesome. It's awesome. That's great. For me, like, I feel like this whole thing like came out of left field for me. And now I am writing a book. The book is titled The Rules Weren't Meant for You. So I'm intentionally in this season of like deeply exploring, like, how did my life, what are the layers to my life? How did it get to this? And it's not because I feel like I'm broken or like, I need to fix myself. I'm not coming from that place. Deep down, okay? There is something in me that says there's more for you, Venice. And I'm someone that's done beautiful work for a lot of years. The difference is, like, I always say, like, some people come like to personal growth because they feel they're broken and they have to fix themselves. Mine is I want to live my life the most rich. I'm not talking about money rich. I'm talking about full, living fully. Like, like when you get a piece of fruit and you like get all the juice out of it. like that. Like I came, I lived this one life and I like took all the juice out of it. I lived it fully, where when I die, it's like I'm good with dying. I have no regrets kind of thing, right? So like that commitment has really just been this beautiful, beautiful journey, okay? So I'm going to leave you just with these thoughts. I would love to hear like what you're hearing for yourself or, I don't know where you are, but I'd love to just hear from you. And I want to let you know that because we're human, we all have unspoken, unacknowledged rules we live by. They've helped us achieve the life we have. And sometimes in midlife, we find ourselves in this moment where there's this yearning of, I think there's more. I think there's more than this. And if that is you, I encourage you to follow it. Even following it could be just acknowledging that it's there for you. You may not know what to do and all that. I get all that. You don't have to know all what to do. Sometimes it starts with just saying, this is where I'm at if I'm truthful and honest with myself. And I'm going to allow myself to lean into that. I'm going to maybe allow myself to be curious about it because I believe that if you're in that moment, the creator of the universe is extending a divine invitation to you for the next opportunity or what I call unfolding that's sitting right there ready for you in your life. But you have to take it. You have to, and it's taking it starts with acknowledging, like me, like I'm telling you, I'm still sitting with this, okay? But what's coming to me is like, what if I could just be delightful or delighted? The word delighted is like really kind of resonant for me right now. I don't know why. Maybe I could just enjoy the journey. I have not enjoyed my life journey. It's 90% of it has been so much work. And I have a lot of great results, by the way. I have a really good life. It's just like, maybe it doesn't have to be so much work. And then I like know people and they just like, I don't know, like I have, a small circle of people in my life that I just really like admire, right? And it's just like they're so like almost like they're enjoying the journey. Now, I'm not saying they don't have hard times. I've known people that have gone through incredible life problems, okay? But we always can like have a say in how we're navigating life. And those unspoken, unaware rules, the layers, they dictate how we respond. And there's just maybe there's something more. Maybe there's something that's waiting to be discovered. So that's what I got for you today. And I'd love to hear from you. Um, yeah, I just feel like this conversation is so like an opportunity. So I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.